Welcome back to YouTube land to another action figure review by Tycondrius with a totally red and jawsome street sharks. So this is wave one, one of 3 figures for wave 1, and this is how he's packaged. Now he is loose. I have opened them up and taken them out, but this is Ripster. So you have a press my fin if you dare, power punching action caution, try me, one eye bite, Street Sharks logo, name of the character, pull back my arm for power punching action, and then the try me, eye bite, and then on the back you're introduced to the rest of wave 1, and it gives you a brief bio. Now this is an American card. I do not know if these are going to be available in Europe. I picked this up from Big Bad Toy Store. They are available in Walmart in the States, I believe. In fact, wave 2 has already been announced. I'm not sure if wave 2 has already started hitting shelves, but wave 2 comes with Dr. Paranoid, I think he's called. Yeah, Dr. Paranoid. The lobster guy here, which is called Slobster or Slopster, and is it the Great Slamu, I think, or Blades? It's one of the other 2 of the sharks, the good guys, because wave 1, as you can see, comes with Jab, then there's Slash, and then Ripster. So there is a brief bio for Ripster. It says, name Ripster, motto bite is might. The file, a 411 file, natural born leader of the street sharks. He's bull, he's tough, he's wild-blooded hero with a fist like a freight train. Sharks obey him. Street skills, needs no weapons except the ones he was born with because of his skill in martial arts, specializing combination of bite, boxing, and Taekwondo, which is supposed to be a nod to Taekwondo. So it's Taekwondo. Main shoes, motorcycles, barbells, monster trucks, submarine sandwiches. And then it's just the other 2 figures, and then press fin to make me bite, pull fist back until arm is straight, and then waist twist all the way, and then release for a power punch. So we'll get him opened up. As I said, he's already been opened. Best way to open these guys up is from the bottom, because if I slide out his container, which is easier said than done because of the way his face is. Actually, we'll take him out first and take out his container. So they are packaged with these plastic shark cages, which is a nice, interesting nod. Now, I don't know if the original ones had, I would imagine they would have had the shark cages, but I don't know if they had a plastic one. I never had any of the original figures. I only have one original version of Ripster who's built into a motorcycle. He wasn't a separate part to a motorbike, which is kind of interesting. I wonder if they will redo him like that, or since this guy's now way more articulated than his original counterpart, will they give him a motorbike as a separate accessory, and then you are able to actually put him on the bike yourself. So he does come with this cage, the shark cage. This reminds me a lot of the old Boglins, where they would have a cage piece at the front. It was a plastic, well, on the original Boglins, the very first version of the Boglins, it was a cardboard one. Then later on, when they got kind of reissued in the 90s or mid 90s, they changed it to a plastic cage piece. Like you lift it up and you were able to play with the Boglin. But this has a very reminiscent of that, except this is a full cage as opposed to just the door. So what's cool about it is you can see the chew marks on the sides of it where the bars are bent, and the bars are bent and been chewed on and gnawed on, which is kind of cool. So it is interesting. There is no bottom to it, so if you want to put your street shark into it, you can have to line up his face so it goes through the bar, and you can put it on him like so. Now I will say, Ripster, when he's in packaging, is actually sitting down. They didn't pack him standing, so he is a little bit on the tall side compared to the I think it's, hammerhead or jab. The hammerhead shark guy might be also sitting, but it is how they pack them, because his legs are kind of in a seated position, kind of like that inside the box. But he is articulated, so we will get into that. But we'll do his power punch feature first, because that is pretty much his only gimmick, other than the jaw gimmick, which other street sharks have as well. So you wind them all back and you kind of punch them. You can go backhand, front hand, backhand, front hand. He has spring-loaded waist, so he doesn't really have waist articulation, because it will spring back to that default position anytime you kind of pose him. So just be wary of that. I do believe the other street sharks don't have this. They just have, Jab has his hammerhead move, the top of his head, you press his arm up and his arm pushes his headpiece forward. And for the other guy, what's he called? Slash, he has that drill nose thing that fires, I think it either fires off or just spins around like a drill. So you have that. And then for the other feature these shark guys have, you have this totally awesome jaw moving action if you want them to bite on stuff and eat things. So you can eat weapons, or I don't have anyone actually. We'll use trapjaw here as an example. So trapjaw arm, you have chewing and gnawing on people and stuff like that. What is cool is these guys are pretty much similar scaling as the Origins, the Masters of the Universe Origins figures, as you can see. Although he is a big chunky guy, but he is a big chunky mutated, well, not mutated, gene splice is how they explained it, I think, in the cartoon. A gene spliced shark. So he does, all the way to the back of his fin, stand nearly at 7 inches. As I said, they are quite tall because of the way they're designed. He is big and chunky. So we'll bring in, because I have him handy and standing next to me, we'll bring in Man-at-Arms. So we have kind of more human-ish scale character. Well, I suppose Trapjaw is humanoid as well, unlike characters like Merman and stuff like that. So, oh, there goes Ripster. But you can see he's chunkier, his arms are way bigger, but he does kind of scale quite nicely. I mean, where these knees are around the same position where Man-at-Arms knees are. So you can kind of think that they're in the same scaling. In fact, we'll do one more scale, because again, he is handy. And I have him beside me. Bring in a monster creature from, we bring in the Demogorgon. So you can see how big he is standing next to the Demogorgon Masters of the Universe version. So he is quite a big chunky lad, sharky lad. So we'll bring these out of the way. Now, these guys don't come with like a packing comic like the Motu Origin stuff, so you get pretty much what you get in the box. So for weapon wise, if you did want to kit him out with some weapons, his hands are designed, if I just straighten out his hands and arm so you can see it, he does have a fist, but it is an open fist, so he can hold certain stuff. So if you have weapons that will, probably won't work with this, no, because his knuckles and fingers are too large to go around. But you have some weapons, use the staff of change. You can hold certain weapons from the Motu line. Now, you won't be able to hold everything because of the way his arms are designed. So if you have weapons that just slide in, I'm trying to find one at the moment. Yeah. I suppose it's quite fitting. So Merman's trident, for example, will fit his hands, mainly because it doesn't bow out or anything at the bottom. So this is the axe off the, was it that Funko Masters of the Universe styled line, which I can't remember, the Primal Rage or something they were called, but that's his one. He won't be able to fit that, or stuff like, I think stuff like this where it has like an extra nodule or anything on the bottom of it. This is the mace from that man-at-arms. You see, it won't fit through the gap in his hand. If his hand was more open, you could do it. But as I said, only certain weapons will work. I have managed to get him to hold Ninjor's sword, which I got a version of with the Mo2 Turtles crossover. Casey Jones comes with one of those, so I had him holding that at one point. So he can hold certain weapons, but not everything. So it's kind of hit and miss what you'll be able to get him to wield weapon-wise if you want him to hold Origin-style weapons. So like stuff like Skeletor's Havoc Staff is a definitely no-no unless you cut the bottom. Unless you cut this piece off the bottom, then he would be able to hold it, but then that would ruin the actual figure or actual accessory. So articulation wise, as you saw, he does have that spring loaded waist, so it does default him. He doesn't have any kind of waist or neck articulation because his body is basically one big jaw molded into a torso. He does have that jaw articulation, which is kind of cool. Now, I have seen people saying that this particularly rubbery material has already started deteriorating on some of their figures. I haven't seen any actual image samples of this, but people have been saying that the Wave 1s have been having issues, but maybe it depends on where they were made. He does have paint applications for the teeth and this creamy, basically the creamy section, and his eyes. So it could be maybe they're saying that it's pink flaking on it and not the actual material deteriorating. Now, I do know that some of the metal material that they've used in the past haven't withstood the test of time. The original Street Sharks guys seem to be an exception. They seem to be okay for that. But I recently had a look at my Hammond Collection Jurassic Park stuff, or the Jurassic World Jurassic Park Hammond Collection, whichever way, or not Hammond Collection, sorry, Amber Collection, which was the taller stuff, the 6-inch stuff, and the material the tails are made out of on the dinosaurs have started deteriorating. There's cracks and stuff forming on them, even though they've only been stored in a straight position and not left in curved or posed. So his arms can rotate all the way around, can hinge out, has a single hinge elbow with a swivel, has a single swivel in the wrist with a hinge, so you can get him in a punching position, have him punching that camera if you want him to. He does have articulation in legs. He does have these weird big cowboy boots on, but even with those on, he's not too top heavy. He will stand quite nicely. If I move him back, you can see he stands reasonably well. His legs do splay out that much. He does kick forward, single jointed knee with a swivel. And then his legs, or his feet, do have hinges. It's hard to get them to work because of the way the pants come down over the boot. And I don't think there is a swivel, or I don't think it's a rocker ankle like with the Motu. I think it's just a hinge. But you can get him into some action poses, but just be wary, depending on what way you have him, he might get top heavy because he is a fairly chunky, big beast of a shark. So there you go, guys. I'm going to wrap this up here, and I hope you enjoy this quick video review for the Street Sharks Wave 1 Ripster. I'm hoping to get Jab and Slash at some point, and the Wave 2 stuff. Wave 2 was just announced, and they are on pre-order at the time of this recording up on Big Bad Toy Store, and they are apparently in Walmart as well, so it depends on where you want to go for them. I think they might also be up on Amazon, so it's just depending on your dealer of choice, it's where you can get these guys. So hopefully you'll be able to find one. But all in all, I do like the look of these guys, and I think they look pretty awesome. Again, as I said, I never had the original lineup, the old original figures, apart from that one, which I might do a quick showcase of. But the rest of them were like outside my wheelhouse. I was never a huge fan of the Sharks because they were kind of limited in articulation. They kind of reminded me of the old Turtles line. And even though I did like that line, it did kind of, it was a little bit more limited. I preferred more posable action figures like the G.I. Joe style stuff. So I kind of stayed more with those. but these new ones have started growing on me, so I think they are pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to this lobster. I just love the look of a giant lobster creature looking thing, so it looks pretty awesome. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video review, and as always, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Cheers.